Shalom Aleichem. We zijn Chaim Lezer van de webserie YidLife Crisis. We're here in London, United Kingdom, a great global metropolis. And like all great global metropoli, there is a Jewish story to be told at the heart of it.
The thing is, we know absolutely nothing about that story. Good news. We brought an expert, David Rosenberg. He's going to lead us around where we are right now, which is East London. Give us a little tour of Brick Lane.
Brick Lane is in the East End of London. It's the most famous street in the East End of London, and Brick Lane runs from north to south. This is the edge of where the Jews lived. About 150,000 Jews settled here from about the 1880s to about the First World War. The East European Jews in very large numbers came at that time. There had been previous migrations, much smaller migrations. There were also German Jews and Dutch Jews.
But who started the bagels?
Who started the bagel? Well, I mean, if you came here 100 years ago, you wouldn't buy your bagels in a shop. You'd buy them from street sellers. There'd be stalls, there'd be people sitting by the roadside with bags of bagels.
Our hometown of Montreal has rival bagel bakeries just a few blocks from each other.
Men is do.
Yeah. Same theater in Fairmont.
Yeah.
So like Jews, we like to argue about these things. Can we just go try them right now and find out what's happening? Okay, let's do it.
You're looking the wrong way.
I know, I keep looking the wrong way. It's inevitable.
I have to admit to being a little bit biased. I want to be able to rip this stuff apart, literally and metaphorically, but it looks pretty good.
When the Jews came here, they came speaking Yiddish. They didn't know a single word of English, and so they worked for other Jewish employers. Jews who had come maybe a few years earlier had made just about enough money to run their own workshops. And they were sort of working in the sweatshops. They were working 14 to 18 hours a day. Their pay was low. They started to form unions. And in 1889, there was an incredible strike. 7,500 immigrant Jewish tailors went on strike. And what they were striking for was the 12-hour day.
He's even wearing his shirt. Did you see? He came in representing.
Beauties, baby. But let's have a look at these Beigels. Bagels? Bagels?
There was already a Yiddish newspaper in the East End called the Arbeiter Freund, the Workers' Friend. It reflected their daily experience, but also told them it doesn't have to be this way. Things can change. And who's going to change it? Well, you are.
This is going to change the way I wear my pants. There's no not getting this.
Hang on, no, for real. What are we going to get here? Peanut butter bagel? What should we get?
Peanut butter bagel?
I would get a peanut butter bagel.
That's interesting. They call them bagels there, but they're Beigel.
She said 7,500 Jewish tailors. Now that's a schmutz of business.
Tailoring was probably the largest trade and among the immigrant Jewish workers, women as well as men. Ultimately, women, probably 3 times as many women as men in that industry. A lot of the others were boot and shoe makers.
What do you call these here? Bagel. Okay, because sometimes it says bagel and sometimes it says bagel. You spell it 2 different ways.
French and American.
There was great pressures to speak English, and that didn't come just from the host society. It came from within the Jewish community itself.
Is that smoked meat? What is this?
Salt beef. Salt beef.
Salt beef?
Watch your mouth.
I think you call it pastrami. Do you call it pastrami?
Well, in Montreal we call it smoked meat, but that's not smoked meat.
There was a school in the East End called the Jews Free School, and the head teacher there tried to make them English people of the Jewish persuasion. He wanted them to lose all their distinctive cultural attributes in order to get on in the society. He used to tell the kids off for speaking Yiddish, and not just tell them off, he used to beat them. Yeah? He used to tell them they've got to stop speaking, they've got to stop thinking, they've got to stop dreaming in Yiddish. How can you stop dreaming in Yiddish? So you have Yiddish dreams?
Who doesn't?
That's why I don't sleep.
Not a fatty one though.
Hardly doesn't have no fat. Look.
Sorry?
This bookshop is Brick Lane Bookshop. Somebody needs to do Yiddish English Cockney. That would be interesting.
A guide to uncovering London's radical history. I guess David's a bit of a radical here.
I was teaching for 22 years in inner London, and we had kids who spoke about somewhere between 70 and 80 home languages within our school. And we made sure that we told them keep your home language, learn English, but keep your home language, develop your home language, learn as many languages as possible. You know, language is a real asset, and also in terms of just being yourself and being proud of who you are.
Salt beef.
Salt beef.
Wasn't that your nickname back in camp?
Your change, please.
Yom Kippur 1889, lots and lots of Jews in the East End were in shul. There were also lots and lots of Jews who were in Christ Church Hall, and they were listening to a lecture by a Jewish anarchist called Benjamin Feigenbaum. And he says, if there is a God, how can he let me give a talk like this on Yom Kippur? I give him 2 minutes to reveal himself. And he counts down the 2 minutes. And when it gets to the end of the 2 minutes, he shouts out, there is no God. And a band in there with instruments starts playing revolutionary tunes. That tells you something about the conflict between the secular and the religious.
It's 9 o'clock in the morning. Why are you putting smoked meat on a bagel?
Go back to Montreal and
Hey.
tell them they have to have my bread.
All right.
Master, Montreal hasn't lived yet.
The East End was the cradle of these struggles in Britain. And it wasn't just a coincidence that they happened at the same time as the Jews coming here, because the Jews were very involved in those struggles. They were anarchists, socialists, communists, but the anarchists in particular had very significant numbers of women involved. Here's Emma Goldman, international anarchist celebrity of the time. She did 3 meetings inside this hall. This is the banner of the London Jewish Bakers Union, Union Bread.
Union Brood.
Union Bread.
The Ellie Battalion story. 1, 2, 3, nut.
It definitely passed.
Yeah.
I'm not concerned about it passing.
It's fresh. The bagels are warm.
This right here is a peanut butter bagel, which is sticking to the roof of my mouth, but I don't mind it staying there.
I would say this is the best I can get in London, the best value for money as well.
Wow. Well, we'll see what the rival place next door has to say about it. They're cooking. The Beigels are cooking. The Yidden are coming.
An argument starts.
Why do you keep saying Beigel?
Because it's called a Bagel.